Spring has arrived and it's time to pull your motorcycle out of the garage, blow the cobwebs off, get the dust off, put some air in the tires, and get it ready to go riding. Here's some reminders for those of you who ride and some information that as an attorney I want you to think about. First off is motorcycle insurance. Motorcycle insurance is required in the state of Ohio. You have to be aware that just because you have an automobile that's covered, your motorcycle is not automatically covered. You have to be sure that you have separate coverage for your motorcycle. The minimum coverage for insurance in the state of Ohio is what's called 12,525, 12,500 per person, 25,000 per occurrence. But what you have to be aware of is that's probably not enough coverage if you cause someone to get injured. What you want to do is talk with your insurance agent and be sure that you get as much coverage as possible to protect you and your assets. You also have to be sure that as a motorcyclist that you have uninsured and underinsured coverage on the bike. That does not automatically come with a motorcycle like it does for a vehicle. So don't forget that. Remember, if you drive without insurance, it's very possible that if you get caught, you can lose your license and your ability to drive any vehicle. The second point I want to bring up for the motorcyclists is health insurance. You want to be sure, number one, that you have health insurance, but also be careful to be sure that there are no exclusions that exist when you are riding your motorcycle. It is known that some insurers will put in exclusions for what's called risky behavior injuries, and you have to be absolutely sure that you have health insurance coverage if you will get hurt on one of your motorcycles. Don't get caught out on that. Now, the last thing I want to bring up is Ohio's helmet law. Well, they don't really have a helmet law. The only helmet law that exists is if you're under 18, you have to wear a helmet, or if you've been riding for less than a year, you have to wear a helmet. But as an attorney and a motorcycle owner and a race car driver, I have been upside down. I have crashed everything that I own. And the one thing that I can tell you is the most important safety equipment that anybody has on a motorcycle or in a race car is a helmet. And my personal opinion is you need to think very long and very hard before you decide not to wear a helmet. There have been a number of studies that are out there that show that helmets are very, very effective. The National Health and Traffic Safety Administration has done a study that showed that helmets are 37% effective in preventing fatalities. So if there are 10 people that are not wearing a helmet that get killed on a motorcycle, 4 of those would still be with us today. There are also, in the same study, a finding that shows that they are 67% effective in preventing head injuries. So if there are 100 traumatic brain injuries or serious concussions, 67 of those would have been prevented if you would have worn a helmet. Now, one thing you have to remember, there are different levels of helmet certifications in the United States. The lowest level is what's called the DOT certification, and that is the minimum required by the United States government. There are higher levels of certification known as ANSI and SNELL. And for example, the helmets that we have here today are Arai helmets, and those are both SNELL and ANSI certified. Take the time to learn about the various certifications that you can have for your motorcycles, helmets, because the DOT is just the bare minimum. You want to have the best helmet that you can afford on your head if you were unfortunate enough to get into a crash. So remember, get out there, have a lot of fun this riding season, but be safe. I'll have a check-off list for preparing for the riding season later on in the broadcast. Thank you.